The countdown to the Five Nights at Freddy's movie has already begun, so there's no better time to go back over the FNAF games and recreate 5 iconic locations in LEGO. Starting off with the most important thing, the minifigures. Amazon and eBay didn't have any, but I found a website called OnBuy selling FNAF figures. Gave them my address and credit card information and ordered the figures. And I'm sure nothing could go wrong. 2 weeks later, I received a mysterious package, which contained a bunch of FNAF minifigures. There's the main animatronics, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica and Foxy, which all look really good to be honest. They also have the toy and glam rock versions of themselves. Other than that, there's Springtrap, what looks to be a security guard with a Bonnie mask, Roxanne Wolf, Golden Freddy, another version of Foxy and this one. The first Five Nights at Freddy's game, which came out back in 2014, is arguably the most popular and iconic game of the franchise, and they had quite a few rooms to choose from, but in the end I decided to go with the main stage and the surveillance room. Starting off with the desk, there's a clock that shows that he's only 1 minute into his shift, so it's not looking too good for Mike. Next to that there's a computer screen so you can watch the animatronics, some pizza, a drink, and a fan on the right. There's also a celebrate poster and some news pages as well. At the bottom there's a black cabinet, a speaker on the right, and a swiveling chair for the security guard. I also managed to add some windows so you can see the animatronics and quickly close the security doors before they get in. One of the most iconic parts of Freddy Fazbear's has got to be the stage. This was the place where the animatronics had to perform songs every day, and I'm sure nothing could go wrong. So for this build it has a dark tan base with some rounded corners, 2 speakers on each side, a microphone in the middle, some lights which may or may not be connected using an illegal building technique, some red and blue balloons, and a large brick wall with some clouds to replicate what we see in the movie. If you turn the build around, I added a power generator with a 2-piece, a red guitar for Bonnie and some boxes. And last but not least, there's a mechanism where you can open and close the red curtains, which is quite cool. Moving on to the second game, I think the most interesting room has got to be the game area / prize corner. Starting off with the prize corner section, there's a nice counter with some sweets and chocolate that you can win, a pizza on the wall for some decoration, and there's these minifigures which represent the plushies of the animatronics. Moving on to the games, there's an air hockey table with these pieces which actually look quite similar to pucks, and I also made a mini basketball game that actually works. Like the actual games, I'm going to have 1 minute to see how many hoops I can score. Looks like my time is up, and I managed to score 8 hoops, which isn't too bad. The third game is quite similar to the second, so I just skipped to the fourth game, which is probably the most unique with the house setting. And with this one, I was actually able to represent the whole game with this room. There's a bed with some nice blue and white covers and a spot for the teddy bear. A small table on the side with a mug filled with some nice blue juice. Some drawers which can actually open. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that closed. A TV so we can watch YouTube videos, and the 2 doors and the closet which can open so we can check for animatronics. You know, just the usual. Okay, last but not least, it's Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. When this game came out, the part that stood out is definitely the elevator sequence at the start. The only thing is, because it's round, you can't really fit in many of the details. So I decided to go with another iconic room, the viewing room, and I think it turned out really well. There's some mechanical details on the sides with some tube pieces, some canisters that might contain some emergency oxygen or something like that, a black chair in the middle with a large control panel with a screen, a clock, and lots of different buttons for him to press. On the right there's another large canister and a control panel with a button to turn on the light, and 1 button to shock Circus baby. You can just about see the lights up there as well. This was actually a really fun video to make, and if you're a fan of LEGO and Five Nights at Freddy's, I definitely recommend building one of these sets yourself. The instructions are available on jzbricks.com, and the links are in the description.